Welcome, everyone, to a very special edition of Carroll Worldwide. We are secretly good people. You wouldn't be able to tell that from the podcast. But we have a local charity here today to talk about something near and dear to, is it their heart, its heart, or your heart, Bryan? Bryan Lyburn, Habitat for Humanity.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to be here. It's near and dear to my heart.
You personally, you're not the charity.
I'm not the charity.
Okay.
Today here I represent the charity.
Mm-hmm.
We are Habitat for Humanity of Carroll County. We are the county's only builder of affordable home ownership. We offer families 0% interest mortgages for their new homes.
So they do pay for the home.
They pay for them, and they work on the site. They're a part of the process. They go through a rigorous screening process and education process.
This isn't a handout.
It's not a handout. It's a hand up, Dennis.
Now, is this a government organization?
This is not a government organization. Very similar to your Chamber of Commerce. This is a community-run, community-backed organization, just like the Chamber, that is not supported by the local government. This is really for and by the community.
And so what's coming up soon that we should be aware of?
Yeah, so July 11th. Mark your calendars, everybody. July 11th.
That's a week from the 4th of July for those who are calendar challenged.
Happy birthday, Earth.
That's not how the 4th of July works.
I thought July 11th was maybe.
Is that what Randy really thinks the 4th of July is about? That's awesome.
I don't know. He just wakes up to fireworks every night and doesn't know what's happening. Him and the dogs. So July 11th.
July 11th at the American Legion on Green Street will we dedicating our next house. We have our newest homeowner who's going to be, we're going to celebrate her move in and get to see her house. It's at 8 a.m. At the American Legion on Green Street in Westminster on July 11th, which is a Thursday, 1 week from the 4th of July.
Yeah.
And we'd love to have you. All the podcast listeners.
Get the listeners, the audience out there.
Yeah.
So
Come on out, audience.
He will be there.
So, Bryan, let me just ask a question. How did you get involved with Habitat for Humanity? Have you been a Habitat for humanitarian forever? Like, what happened?
Yeah, so my history, I grew up here in Westminster, graduate of Westminster High School.
Go Owls.
Go Owls.
Go Owls. I'm sad they shot down the heroin junkie mascot, but we'll stick to the Owls.
That was Al.
Owl. Okay. The owl.
Go Owl.
I thought the Owls. Like, owl.
Mentally departed Al.
Okay, so yeah, I'm a Westminster alum. Don't hate me. I'm just.
I think I was pre-heroin epidemic.
Oh, I was in it. I wasn't.
What?
I only freebased like 5 times, so like I barely counted. But you know.
Dennis started it.
Yeah, I started. Anyway.
So yeah, grew up here. My family's always been community involved. My father's the director of economic development now. He's always been involved in Rotary and so many different causes. We were super involved in our church growing up. So I had a heart for service. I went into the for-profit side of the business and built homes for 15 years for a company called Dan Ryan Builders out of Frederick. Then fell into nonprofit service through volunteerism. I joined the finance committee of a housing organization in Frederick, ended up joining their staff. And fell in love with the affordable housing business, where we're serving the working families of the community, the folks in light manufacturing, the folks waiting tables at our restaurants that are part of the service industry of this community. Those folks need housing too, and I love being a part of that story.
So the businesses your dad's trying to get here, you're trying to get them to live here, the workers.
I'm trying to get them to live here, work here, play here, spend their money here, come in and use birdies to drink their coffee and hire a local estate attorney and get their web development done locally.
My blog needs a little tune-up, Randy. So what is like a good person like you doing listening to our podcast?
Yeah, so
What are good, kind people doing?
Yeah. You seem like a pillar of the earth. What do you find appealing about this?
It's mainly just me.
The voice.
It's a great question, and actually, Randy and I were talking about it. I've been with the many iterations of this podcast since the beginning, when this wonderful podcast was kind of spun and out of Made in Carroll.
That's right.
I've been listening for a long time. We're also a member of the Chamber, and I've gotten to know Sherri as a good human being, Dennis as a good human being.
Well, that's ridiculous.
And
verdict's still out on Randy.
Yeah.
and I am not a Facebook user. I'm not a social media user, so this is my way to voyeur into the cesspool that I choose not to participate in.
Oh, so you believe that social media is a cesspool?
Ooh, got your question.
I do.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
Randy just likes to get dirty.
I think based on the topics presented during the podcast, I think you guys make a pretty good case for it.
It's really hard to argue that.
Well, Bryan, I'm really glad that you're here, and
That's
I guess
awesome.
we're gonna have you stick around. And as the person, you're gonna be hearing about this week's events for the first time, right? Because you don't know anything that's going on this week on the cesspool.
I don't know what's going on. I haven't been on social media all week.
Just like every week. So consistency. So we're gonna dive right in, and Bryan, you can hang out, and we'll play us out with a little bit of a plug for Habitat as well. All right. So
Hey, speaking of homeowners, Sherri, we have the Pride Fest coming up, right?
That was a terrible segue.
That was the best segue we've ever had.
That was a terrible segue. Yes, the Pride Festival is coming up after Bryan's event on July 13th from noon to 5 on East Main Street. We're going to be closed between Center and Church.
But Birdies will be open.
Birdies will be open for business. We've got all kinds of amazing food, local food vendors, artists, jewelers, nonprofit organizations. I think Habitat might actually even be there if they can find somebody to man their booth. So come on out. It's going to be a love fest.
Or we'll man their booth.
That's true.
Okay. We don't discriminate at Pride Fest.
No, we really don't.
Okay. So we're talking about vendors. We're talking about food. There is a food problem that someone reported.
Can you be more specific? The one in Taneytown or the one in Hampstead?
Take your pick.
There's food problems all over this county.
Well, I like the one that was in Hampstead, Manchester, at that very famous restaurant.
Uh-huh.
That
Tell me more.
rhymes with Argos.
Uh-huh.
And they said they got served rancid food.
Okay.
They did not speak to a manager, from what I understand.
Okay, so let's go over this for a second.
There's a big loophole here.
What's the loophole?
This person complained about the food being served rancid. It was bad. Did not complain to the manager, and everybody agreed with this person.
They didn't follow our rules.
But they still were successful.
Wait, hold on. So there's two things here going on, right? Like you can agree that like a place is bad without saying like the method is good. There's like a procedure and then there's like a substance. I'm going to go put on my lawyer hat right here, right? And the internet is pretty bad on procedure. We're just we're trying to bring order to chaos with our flow chart.
Yeah. We're
Okay.
trying to herd cats.
Right. And so we say that's the best way to go, but it doesn't mean that like the masses are going to listen to us.
No, but they ignored us, and they were still successful, those bastards.
So you resent the fact they didn't talk to the manager first?
No, I think that it speaks to the fact that they had a
think-
point.
So the food, there's a food store that's serving rancid food. That's not good. Supposedly.
And allegedly, and
Allegedly,
several
yes.
people have allegedly had the same experience, and no one said, "Hey, you should have talked to the manager first."
Well,
Not that I saw. I mean, there was a lot of comments.
That's a pretty
I didn't really read that
serious
thread.
allegation to be throwing around about a restaurant. I mean,
yeah, I guess I would rather have a manager scream at me than eat rancid food.
well, I mean, yeah. If it,
in the hierarchy of like
if it
bad restaurant
If it
experiences.
truly is rancid food, I mean, I don't know.
Well, it might
I'm
also,
skeptical about
It might also
this.
be like such an incendiary allegation. It's like if something is such a crime against foodmanity that you don't have to worry about the process, because it's like this just has to be screamed from the rooftops because I'm eating like spoiled clams or whatever.
Well, there's no. I mean, honestly, do you really think that someone's going to let something leave a kitchen or a server is going to serve something that is truly rancid?
I don't think to their knowledge they would.
I find it very hard to believe. Rancid is a pretty derogatory word.
Ooh.
I mean, that are there maggots? I don't. How do you? I just find this all very, very difficult to swallow. That
So did they.
Allegedly.
I walked right into that one.
Dad joke central. So I just thought, I mean, I don't know. It's just the thing I'll say about our silly little chart is people are sharing it with, we're not necessarily the ones that are slamming it out there. It just sort of has gone out as our
It's taken on a life of its own.
taking on life its own. So
Yep.
Then we had another food experience in another town. Which one do you want to do now, Randy? You're looking at my list.
Yeah, we can talk about the one in South. I believe it's South Carroll County, or is it West Carroll County? Taneytown?
Oh, my.
Oof. Brian, do you want to take this field, this one? Where's Taneytown geographically?
Yeah, first of all, it's Taneytown.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's Taneytown.
Have we all been saying it wrong this whole time?
I say Taneytown.
So, yeah.
I say Taneytown.
No
I
one
was
wants to be
literally taught in school to say Taneytown.
Tawny
it's
from
Tawny.
Taneytown.
No,
Taneytown.
no one
Oh,
wants,
he got me. All right.
Justice. No one wants to be affiliated with Justice Taney anyway. One of the most infamous Supreme Court justices.
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
There's a place up
No, but Brian was interrupted.
Oh, okay.
You're going to tell Randy the geography.
So there's a little town called Taneytown, and if you from here, we're in Westminster, Randy.
Where's Westminster in Carroll
It's
County?
Central.
Okay.
Central. There, so here you go. So we have a road that goes through Westminster called 140.
Do you know
Right.
that
Route
road?
140. You know that road?
Yes, and that
Now-
goes west.
And it actually kind of goes. Yeah, it kind of goes north.
North, yeah.
So
Huh,
I would
okay.
say that Taneytown is due north from Westminster.
North.
Yes.
It's-
Taneytown's also
You guys concur?
Yes,
Yes.
I concur. It is
I
north.
strongly disagree because 27 also goes due north, and that runs right into Manchester. And there's no sign of Taneytown in that
Well, I mean, a
travel.
map would solve this problem real fast. Without
It
just
would, but
relying
we're-
on cardinal. Well, if you have 4 cardinal directions for the roads, there's like all these different compass points that are not encompassed very well by north, south, east, west.
Okay.
Taneytown. Think about it this way too. Brian could test this. Taneytown is sneaky close to Frederick.
Yeah, Taneytown
north.
is northwest
It's northwest,
of Westminster.
Okay, so I was both right and wrong.
I think if you look at
You're
a map,
mainly wrong.
yeah, you'll look at a map, you'll find out that Taneytown is a northern neighbor of
60-40, right, wrong.
ours. Probably like 1090.
Yeah.
Wrong, right? Okay,
Right, wrong.
I'll take that.
Okay. So anyway, in
Here's the thing I
the
didn't
little
know.
hamlet of Taneytown.
I did not know there was a place called Tony's. That's a bar? I thought there was only one bar out there to begin with.
Well, there's Flicks for sure.
Flicks counts, yes. So I thought there was 2. There was Flicks, and there's the one further near FlowServe or whatever that company is.
But, anyway, yes.
So then this woman is complaining about she went to Tony's
Wait,
and
do we talk about the business?
do what?
Do we say that name on in this?
Well, we didn't know they existed, so we might as well.
Okay.
I know they exist, and it's actually a very nice pizzeria and bar.
Yeah.
So it's a pizzeria bar.
Yeah.
pizza and sub place.
Yeah.
up
And
in
it has
that
it
strip
has
center.
a
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
And
Is it a bar or is it a pizzeria?
They have a bar. They have pizza. They have sit-down dining.
It's probably more of like an Italian place that serves alcohol.
And pool tables.
Yes.
And
But-
this is where Randy jumps in again.
You can't play pool unless you buy something. That's what this woman's complaint was.
Okay.
Good
Okay.
Lord.
I have something to say about this.
Okay.
Do
Take
you?
a deep breath.
Do you
This is
know
an
how
R,
many-
not an NC-17
Do you know how many
podcast.
times I'm not going to curse? Do you know how many times a week I literally need to say to somebody, "You have to buy something in order to sit here
And use your
in my
Wi-Fi.
cafe and use my bathroom and use my
Wow.
Wi-Fi and drink the water from the bar that we're offering to people."
That makes
and
sense.
take up space.
No, it
It
makes
makes,
sense.
the same amount of sense for them to restrict their pool tables.
Of course.
Unless you're
people-
paying to play pool. But are you? Do they have pay pool tables?
I don't know.
They
I
probably
can't
don't
answer
because
that.
like if they're like a nicer place and like they're just like this is for our customers, then like why are you trying to like shift them out of 75 cents for pool when you just would expect like normal human beings that have existed in the world to realize there's no free rides.
There are no free rides. You cannot come into
Unless it's
a
the
restaurant.
library.
I mean, try to go anywhere else other than, Tony's and walk in. Just for example, why don't you go to a nail salon and walk in and say, "Excuse me, I'm here to paint my own nails, but I'm going to use your nail polish. And I'll just be an hour taking up this chair and filing my own nails, but you're not going to charge me for using your nail polish and your emery board." It's the same concept.
I can't believe that you have to say that often. I mean, I would think that
literally yesterday
yeah.
said it to a person, and then someone else walked in with food from another restaurant and sat down at one of my tables to eat it from another restaurant.
Because people
And I said, "Are you seriously kidding me?"
people use her place as like a one of those like workplace places where you go and you sit. She has free Wi-Fi and it's on Ting, so it's super fast. And they sit there and they work all day with their laptops. And that's why I brought it up in an earlier
guess
podcast.
what?
Does that drive you crazy?
That's how people go out of business.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just for one coffee, they're going to sit there for 5 or 6 hours
Yeah,
talking.
no.
But even
Using up your bandwidth.
But hold
No.
on, the one coffee person is a degree better than the zero coffee person.
It's a degree better, but
The one coffee
For like an hour.
yes, for an hour.
But the one coffee person, at least, like, I think reasonable minds could disagree. Is it 90 minutes or 60 minutes of goodwill that buys, right? But like, just to walk into a place like it's like a community space and be like, kick my feet up. This is a really nice. I love the decor. Thanks, Sherri.
yeah,
and just,
it's
like,
great.
chill.
Let me put my feet up on your really comfortable sofa, my nasty feet, and and just really dig in here and have this little meeting with my friend. And I'm not going to buy anything, but I am going to get on my laptop and I'm going to use your Wi-Fi and I'm going to drink your water and I'm going to go to the bathroom 3 times while I'm here, and then I'm just going to walk out.
I would have thought that like there would be like a
She actually said to me, "I didn't realize that was a thing."
paying for stuff.
Yeah.
We all live in
I'm
a hunter-gatherers.
I'm
society.
beginning
No
to,
one understands a social contract.
I'm beginning to question my technique at Birdie's.
Brian, you're fine.
I'm-
You bring in new people all the time. You always introduce me to them. You always buy them a coffee. You buy yourself a coffee. You're never there for more than an hour.
He was
If
there
you
62 minutes the other day.
No, I don't have a problem with what you do, Brian. What you do is you're building your business and you're also building mine. There are people who are leeches.
Well, the thing that I guess I'm naive. I would have thought that like that group of people would have cycled in the first X years of the business, and you
No.
would have quashed all them,
No.
and then everyone would have learned their lesson. But
No.
there's like a reoccurring. But do you have frequent flyers? You have to explain this to?
No, they never come back.
Okay.
See, I think Starbucks already knows about this because they've been revamping all of their restaurants to be less comfortable. Have you been to any of them lately?
I would never willingly walk in a Starbucks.
Okay, well, they're
Are you comparing Birdie's Cafe to Starbucks?
no, just the idea that they're suffering the same thing. You're all together. We're all working together.
Okay.
When is Coffee Pride Festival so we can all come together on this?
So the bottom line is to think that you can just go to a pool table at a business and play pool
For free.
for free is
And
completely
not purchase a drink.
completely ludicrous. Now this person was take me back. They were complaining about this.
Yes, and they did not talk to a manager. Of
Well,
course, there wouldn't be much to talk about if they did.
and the
Yeah,
and
I think the manager talked to them, didn't
Yes. I'm sure that's what
well,
happened.
maybe they did talk to the manager.
they? This was a complete reversal of the.
So this is
Wow,
where
they just blew
this is-
up our
This is where no
flowchart.
no Sherri's safety valve is important
Mm-hmm.
here. What is the thing that Sherri added to our chart that put it over the top?
hers was probably the most important part. Is are you an asshole who hates everything all the time and complains no matter what?
Yes.
And you will never be happy.
Right. You'll never be
Regardless
happy.
of the answer to your query.
They're the same people who want to have an hour-long phone conversation with me. Like, wait a second, you're not going to do anything about this? I'm like, are you going to hire me, or are you just
Yeah.
here to chat?
I mean,
Like,
and
know, I'm-
you charge for phone calls, don't you? Because that's how you make your living.
So yeah, I do. I don't be afraid to call me on the phone. I'm not going to send you a bill if you talk to me on the phone for 3 or 4 minutes. But like, if I have like a legal problem to deal with,
Right.
I've got to charge for it. My like Walmart, you like walk out with whatever your shiny trinket or bauble is, and you feel good that you saved that 7 cents while Granny threw up in the aisle and kids screamed in your face. But for me,
Good times.
the thing I'm selling is my brain power.
Of course.
That's what I'm selling.
Right.
So
yeah.
I've
so
I've
how many
cultivated
times
it.
a day do people walk up to you and say, "Dennis, I just got this little legal problem. Could I pick your brain?"
I have that happen pretty often. Yeah. But and it comes with the territory. But people, I mean, don't be intimidated by it. I've learned to set those boundaries myself.
If you'd like to make an appointment.
But just like you've learned to set your boundaries.
oh
Sherri.
yeah, I got boundaries.
You got boundaries.
Do you have a good system for that now, Sherri?
She
or is
doesn't
it
have a
still
good
like-
chair,
Okay, well,
Randy.
let me
How
tell
dare
you,
you?
this
How
is
dare
what-
you?
God, I've never
You don't
written
have a
this
good
down.
chair. How about that?
At first, I'm very polite about it. If someone comes in and doesn't come immediately to the counter within, well, I mean, not immediately, but within 10 to 15 minutes, and they're sitting at a table and they've got all their stuff spread out, I politely go over to them and say, we don't have table service here. I'm not sure if you were aware. You have to go up to the counter to order something.
Oh, you give them the out.
I do. I give them the benefit of the doubt.
How often does that yield like an order?
98% of the time that works.
Mm-hmm.
The
And
other,
they may be genuinely ignorant. That's fair.
they're never genuinely ignorant.
Okay. So they're just
The other 2% of the time,
so they have like some level of human decency.
I have to take it to the next level after I make that initial contact.
so
and
1
say,
in 50 times.
This is not the Carroll County Public Library.
Oh,
You cannot sit here for an hour and use up my space and time for free. That's not how this works, because there's other people wanting to sit in this primo spot that you're in.
that want to pay me.
So, bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other thing is, I'll say, since I'm not a coffee drinker, I've looked at the prices and I've had your tea many times. It's all normal prices. It's not like
It's not obnoxious.
it's like you couldn't rent office space at the rate of one coffee an hour.
No, and you would
absolutely
be
can't.
amazed how many times a month I have to say this to someone. It's incredible.
You could go viral.
Can you imagine going into, let's just, Paradiso's across the parking lot. Can you imagine walking into Paradiso, sitting down at a table,
Eating their bread.
drinking their water, and saying, no, I'm sorry, I'm just going to sit here and not order anything. And
No,
we have this
good.
little meeting here. You would last 15 minutes tops.
The thing that's crazy is there's another local business that I really like that they started to charge for water, and it kind of annoyed me, but I kind of understood why they did it, because I think they were having problems with people just like abusing that thing. So they're like, that's fine, we're gonna charge for a cup, and that's our out. And like, it got under my skin because I'm just not used to paying for water. Like,
have you paid a city water bill recently?
well, I mean, I pay for my own water, but you know what I mean. And it's just like, it's only because that's like the custom. Like, if people had always charged for water, no one would care. But we live in a water abundant place, and I don't think about it. But I was like, you know what? Like, if when I first got out of law school, that would have made a difference about what I could afford. Fortunately, I'm a little bit better now, and so I'm not gonna worry about my 50-cent water charge. But I get it. I mean, like, any business like yours or something else where you're selling things like that, and like the ambiance is the added experience, you don't just get to mooch on that. And what was the comment like on this Tony's post? Were people like saying, "Are you crazy?" Or-
Yes, that was the overall.
So people were
Sentiment.
agreeing that
Yeah.
you need to buy something in order to be in a business. Well,
Yes.
thank God there are sane people in the world. I'm really glad to hear that.
I really think this is like a free rider problem. Like 95% of people must get it, but the 5% who don't gravitate towards these places because they just think it's like, oh, well, this looks great. Oh, I had to pay for something? Sherry's just not running a boarding house?
No, Sherri is not running a boarding house
So we had
or the library.
complaints are so hot right now. We had something about I guess we're just gonna say all the business. Daughters in Hampstead. The owner, no one had said anything bad about, but she just came out and said, like, think about what you say when you complain. Tell me what happened.
The flower of the asphalt of these complaints was the owner of the restaurant Daughters.
What?
Yes.
What does that mean?
It means it was a blossom of something positive.
It's like
Is that a real expression?
yeah, like a
flowers?
bloom will come through the asphalt. Like life finds a way. It's the positive in the negative.
Randy told
Quoting
me
Dr.
something.
Malcolm again.
Well, okay, Randy.
What did she say? She said, as the owner of Daughters, I just wanted to let everybody know if you have a problem, please come to me directly. I will do whatever it takes to take care of it before you go complaining and, slagging the reputation, et cetera, et cetera. No one disagreed with that.
She dropped the flow chart.
She dropped the flow chart,
She
yes.
dropped the flow chart.
Yeah.
No, she didn't actually. She like suggested, and then did.
I don't think she knew about the flow chart. She had her own version of the flow chart, which agreed with our flow chart, which makes us 100% right.
Yeah.
And me right by proxy. So that kind of erases the thing that was wrong about Taneytown.
Yeah, you were real wrong about Tony.
And I think she speaks for the majority of people in the service industry. If there's something we can do to make your experience better, or we can fix a problem, we will do it. We're in the service industry. We want you to be happy. We understand word of mouth. Nobody, I mean, except maybe that one guy in that place that we talked about a
that
couple
Teflon
weeks.
business owner, yeah.
I mean, that guy is the possible exception, but the majority of business owners want, I mean, any business, not just restaurants.
Sure.
You want people to tell other people that you're a great estate attorney, right? You want people to know that your charity is worth supporting.
Absolutely.
You want people to know that it is whatever you do is great.
Yep.
It's not geography. Yeah, it's the one thing I think that happens here though is like these community pages are sort of unfortunately named because a lot of the sort of like off base sort of like rants are based on a lack of community. Because like if you had a sense of community, you would say like, oh, like Sherry's my neighbor and could be my friend, right? And so like if Randy, if you're like a human being and Randy says something that hurts my feelings, my first thing shouldn't be to go to Facebook and be like, Randy, you hurt my feelings, right? You would talk to Randy and you're the same way. You're a human.
Yes, your kids go to school with my kids, and we all.
What's the summer, Sherry? Come on. They don't all need summer school.
That's true. Just my kids.
By the way, we've got to wrap this up. My geography class is coming up soon.
Sorry. But anyway, yes, I agree with you. We're all human beings, and we deserve to be treated as such.
That's what the lizard people want you to think. Okay, so then more complaining. Oh my gosh, we're like really meta. We're complaining about complaining. Someone did it right.
I have a flow chart about that too.
What?
About people who complain about complainers?
No, you did.
I did it a couple of years ago. Yes, I do. And
Find
then
that.
it becomes this vortex of.
Well, find it.
Okay.
Better.
I have it.
Okay, but who was the one who did the complaint the right way? We had something.
Okay,
about
we
that.
did have somebody. Yes.
So this person gets gold star.
A very gold star. This person complained about, and she said that it was a little place that rhymes with hoops shrill.
Okay.
And
she was very subtle about it.
A catering,
specific person
hosting
who booked an event for this complainer, and for our subject, we'll say, and double booked. And did not give them their money back.
Wow.
And they talked to the person who was responsible, and they didn't do anything about it. So she went to the cesspool of social media to air it out.
I think she would be better served from the cesspool of law practice, but that's just me. I'm not rendering any legal advice, but I mean, they talked to the person, they said it, and I think the thing that was interesting too is this was another one where the Peanut Gallery kind of said, "Yeah, we've had problems."
Well, the Peanut Gallery also supported her because, and one of the first comments was a picture of our flow chart, and the person said, "You followed the flow chart, you did it right." And there was no opposition. I think one person said, better to go to like law or Better Business Bureau or something than talk about it on Facebook. But I disagree with that. I think when you go to Facebook with something like this, you're sort of broadcasting to everyone, watch out. I had this experience and I hope you don't either.
Yeah, I think that like there's people who like, you don't know people's inner thoughts, right? But there's two reasons to do it. The first one is to say buyer beware. Don't be wary. Don't fall into this trap. I don't think I'm going to get what I needed out of it, but like be wary world about it, right? But then the second one is sort of like look at me, attention, and that kind of stuff. Those two things can be related or they can be separate, and we don't know. But this one struck me as something where it was like, I'm done. I'm putting them on blast. Go somewhere else. And by their account of it, they were justified doing it. It's always, anyone can lie about this stuff, but I mean, they seem to do everything they ought to have. Well, so
we have one more thing.
So someone I know, we'll just call her Mindy, posted on Facebook that they are at local. We're not trashing the business. Local business.
You almost said it.
No, it's not even. We're not even mad at the business.
Let's leave it.
It's more of like a generational complaint. And they had a $16.99 change coming to them, and so they gave the cashier a penny. And the cashier like looked at the penny and gave it back to them, and then gave them $16.99, and they were like, "WTF?" Now, the person who posted this is an elder millennial, and of course, like every person, like Gen X and Boomer, just like blew it up with thumbs up. I think it had like 400 or 500 likes already.
Did this person speak to the manager?
I don't think you need to speak to the manager.
It's not worthy of speaking to the manager.
You're not even complaining about like there was like a problem, because like getting $16.99 in change is correct.
That's just Carroll hates kids kind of thing, I think.
You think it's Carroll hates kids?
Yeah, it is, because I think they specifically said that there was a young person behind the cash register.
It might have been.
These
I just thought it was
young people don't know how to make change.
I just thought it was funny because it's like I would have definitely, like, I don't carry cash much anymore, but like when I was in law school, I always had cash for whatever reason, and I would just always keep 4 pennies in my pocket to try to get rid of them, because like any situation you had an odd number, unload those pennies. And so I don't know, it's
you really need more excitement in your life.
Well,
just saying.
Law school was really exciting. I don't think that was the issue. I just like hated carrying all my pennies around. Got to get rid of them.
I think I'd like to join this poster. I think I have a thing about people not being able to count change. I don't hate kids because of it, but I often confuse someone by giving them a penny, or if it's $10.24, I give them 11, and then I'm like, oh, I've got 50 cents, and it's so confusing.
Right, because it's over and above.
I always instructed, like I would have said, here's a penny so you can just give me back the $16 even.
That's the deal, Randy.
It would have been 17.
No, because it was $15.99. You were wrong this whole time.
It was $16.99.
It was
Dennis.
$15.99.
Misinformation.
Oh my gosh.
But cash registers do it for you now. We don't
Exhibit
have
A.
to.
They
Oh
do.
my
We
gosh.
used to count change out of a register.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, were you wrong about something?
Yeah, I was right about the dollar figure. You're right.
Taneytown is east of us, isn't it?
Shocking. No, it's really not.
just like in my family, when I'm wrong about something, it's a big deal because I'm so very often wrong.
Oh man, I have a clip of you saying, "I'm often right," in a real snotty voice. I'm gonna find that.
I am often right. I was being sarcastic.
Oh.
So okay. So I thought. I mean, I sympathize. Like if I'm like Brian, it's like, hey, I'm trying to like get the change out of my life. Like we're probably like 20 years away from not having pennies anymore. I don't need these things. So like I sympathize with it. I just don't. I think it just like the traction it got just was the thing I found most interesting. Not the interaction, but like the way like everyone had an opinion about it. There's like hundreds of comments and hundreds of likes, and it was like it seemed like a normal thing to me, but I just didn't expect like that to be like the marquee interaction of the week.
Oh, here's something weird I just found out a couple of days ago. The TRX stores like TJ Maxx and Home Goods and all those like network of store Marshalls and so forth,
I had no idea they were a thing, but go on.
they are not processing dimes anymore. Like if they give you change, it will not include dimes.
They have to accept dimes.
I think they accept them.
They
but,
have to. It's legal tender.
Yeah, but I think that they're not like they're not like giving them anymore. Like it's not going to be part of their thing.
Wow.
So what are they
That's
just
all I
giving
know.
2 nickels? Or?
Yes, I mean I have all the questions you do, but that's
Okay.
all I know.
Why? I guess maybe they figured they could like dimes are least used and they could like
I mean,
shut that out of their supply.
Dime, they are the least. I personally find nickels to be the least used.
Well, that's why I would say it would be
change.
nickel.
Yeah, but it makes more sense to get rid of the dimes because
The nickel can.
Yeah, the nickel can
substitute.
make. Yeah,
Maybe their supply. It's helping
substitute.
their supply chain. They aren't having to deal with like bags of dimes, but they still receive them, but then they just deposit them. I guess.
Yep.
That's super interesting.
That's really interesting.
If it's true.
Yes. It is alleged.
All right, and then before we get to the top 10 list, we had from Mindy explain to us how I was wrong about emotional support animals. Those are doctor certified things that can like go on planes and stuff.
Things.
Pets.
Okay.
The
Dogs?
certification is a thing. You can like you have to get an emotionally support animal certified by.
Is it a pet anymore when it's a certified emotional support animal?
Does it
Is
get
it
to
a-
vote?
Is it a working dog? It might get to vote.
I don't know.
But is it a service animal?
It's not a service animal. It's different than that.
So it's not. So service animal's not a big
Hold
umbrella
on.
that they're all under.
We posted this in our own forum in preparation for this, and I already
so you were
forgot
wrong
the
about
takeaway.
2 things.
It's,
Oh yeah, this is a banner
Dennis is
week.
off his game.
Sounds like Taneytown is southeast.
Have you not been awake long, Dennis? Or
Well, no, I was wrong last week about this. So, ESA are not service dogs. They are not allowed to go anywhere. They are legally out on flights, and landlords have to allow them in their dwelling. A doctor is to legally certify an ESA. There you go.
thanks, Mindy.
Thank you. So, Sherri,
Yes.
we're going to talk about what we want to talk about.
Yeah. So I was inspired to make a top 10 list of the top 10 lists I'd like to see
That's a
that
great
I think
idea.
would be funny. And you know what I think we should.
They don't have to be funny, but
No, I don't know that the list is particularly funny, but I think
Right.
what we should do is we should ask our audience, which one of these top 10 lists they'd like to see.
oh, that's a good idea.
And it's the kind of situation, this list, where I could get, like suggestions from the peanut gallery. If you've, a la Jimmy Fallon, wedding fails, stuff like that. Tell me your worst story. So,
From the show, I have another one to add, if nobody else does.
Doesn't she
So you want to just go ahead
Start
and
off
do
with
number
number
10?
10.
You want to be number 10?
be number 10?
If you don't have it already.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'll take another.
Top 10 things you shouldn't do for free at a restaurant.
I think we pretty much covered that, but that's a good one.
All right, shoot it down immediately. I know you're mad about the chair.
I'm really pissed about this chair
Let's
situation.
let the audience know that the Sherri is angry because I gave her a different chair for our
well,
studio.
hold on. It's a non-desk chair. It's
Okay,
like no
so
wheels.
first of all, I'm the shortest person in this room by at least a foot.
No, you're not.
I'm absolutely the shortest
Are you?
person. Yes.
well, she's got to be the shortest person. Doesn't mean it's
Yeah,
by
but
a
I
foot.
know you guys think I'm tall because I act like a tall person, but
Walk tall.
Very strong presence.
I'm 5'4" on my best day.
Okay, well, I'm 6'1", so that's not.
Okay, whatever. You know what? Don't get into the technicalities. Anyway, my microphone's in
How
the
much
wrong
your bench?
place. My microphone's in the wrong place now. I can't roll around. I'm sticking to the chair. It's hot. What is up with the air conditioning in this
It
room?
is. If you noticed, I unbuttoned my
It is
button.
goddamn 80 degrees in here.
Well,
I haven't had enough coffee
Go ahead,
yet.
throw the F word. I'll bleep
Do you
it.
want to hear my top 10 list or not?
Well, Randy actually started your top 10 list. Made it about
so-
Randy. So,
Yeah.
What else is new? Okay, so here's number 9 of our top 10 wish list. I think it'd be funny to hear a list of the top 10 high school reunion quotes that you hear when you go to your high school reunion.
that's a good one.
I like this.
Yeah. Okay. I said number 8, the top 10 places to stick your kids this summer. Where are you doing with your kids this summer?
That took a real left turn because top 10 places to stick. I didn't know
Is
where
that
we were going.
vaccinations or?
No, like camp and stuff.
No, I understand now. But
Okay. See, this is all askew because so
Because the chair is that
yeah,
messing you up?
The chair is
Messing up
really
your notes?
The chair's me up. This would be number 7. The Carroll County Times top stories of the year, the best stories that you've heard in the Carroll County Times this year.
Oh, okay. That's a good
Something
one.
that's golden tractor crank worthy, I think, maybe. Number 6, the top 10 reasons you're currently in a fight with a member of your family.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have a personal story about that, and it's pretty amazing. Number 5, your top 10 vacation nightmares.
okay.
So I'm just thinking, I
Yeah.
have this friend who recently got back from a cruise, and I don't want to ruin your good time, Randy, but her and her husband and her kid, all 3 ended up in the hospital.
What cruise line?
I'm not going to say.
They're not a local business.
No,
The
but
Birdie's Cruise
I'm
Line.
not going to say because I really don't remember.
I can't say because I don't know.
Okay, so number 4, the top 10 things overheard by Carroll County Uber drivers.
Ooh.
I mean, that could be fascinating.
But I know an Uber driver who posts stories, so I could definitely fulfill that.
Oh, I love that idea. I think that would be really funny.
Uber confessionals, get some like
Right.
sleazy music.
Exactly. Number 3, the top 10 pickup lines at Down Under.
Oh, God, I've got that covered.
Okay. Well,
Randy's there every
Randy's
Thirsty
an expert.
Thursday.
He's an expert at that. Number 2, your top 10 funeral stories. It's a great place for people to really show their asses, and I think it would just be
Funeral stories?
Yeah.
Because I do have one.
okay. Is it about your dad's funeral? Because I don't want to hear about that.
No, God. You are mad about that chair. Wow.
I'm really
Low
pissed.
blow.
I'm really pissed. It wasn't a low blow. I was genuinely concerned.
Bringing up my daddy issues.
It's really, it's not just daddy issues. As we
Oh,
know.
Okay.
you're right.
And honestly, these are really in no particular order, but I thought this would be possibly the most interesting one.
Number 1.
The top 10 Carroll County Tinder date stories.
Ooh.
I want to know what goes on Carroll County Tinder.
Wow.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, don't you think?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
What's Tinder? No, just kidding.
No? No? Not gonna.
okay. So, just to recap, Brian, tell us again, what should we do to support Habitat coming up?
So you can, first of all, you guys are all digital people. You're out there in the podcasting interweb land. Stop by our Facebook page and like us and follow us. You'll probably see some shout outs from Carroll Worldwide on our Facebook page too. Stop by and follow us. Come to our next dedication ceremony. Meet our homeowner, meet our staff, and find out how to get involved on July 11th, which is a Thursday at 8 a.m. at the American Legion on Green Street in Westminster.
And you guys are a working operation, right? Like you are, how many full-time people do you have?
We have 2 full-time staff, 2 part-time staff.
And, there's not a dedicated fundraiser. This is the community getting out to help you all. This is not someone beating down doors selling charity, right? You are the guy.
Yeah, we're the organization. It's our small staff team supported by board members and committee members from our community, individual volunteers, individual business owners who are sponsoring, who are bringing food.
And you can
Sherri's
actually
provided coffee for events.
You can actually build too, right? You
Yeah,
can volunteer your building.
and people can come out and swing a hammer or a paintbrush, and no experience necessary, Randy. We can teach
listen.
you which end of the hammer to hold. We'll make sure you don't get trapped on any
No.
roofs.
He is a listener.
Deep cut from Brian. That's a serious cred.
I tried to build a deck at my house, and I killed every living thing on my property. So you don't want me there.
Okay.
This is not something I'm good at.
When did this happen?
Oh, it's called the Great. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
Great
I'm concerned
deck
about your
element.
I'm concerned
The
about
great
your I'm concerned about your family.
This is a replacement family I have now.
Oh, okay.
This isn't the original
Did you
family.
actually wait? Did you have a twin too that you swapped in for?
No, I survived.
The twin didn't.
I was the conqueror.
Okay, I think that's enough of making fun of Randy's dead dad today. All right, I'm Dennis Twigg,
I'm Randy Goldstein.
Happy birthday, America. I'm Sherri Hosfeld Joseph.
and thank you, Brian. See you later.
Peace out.